We are in Acts 5, 7 through 11. After an interval of 3 hours, his wife came in, not knowing what had happened. Uh, it's amazing. What would happen if you went to church and decided to carry out a deceit, the same deceit? Peter said to her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, oh, yes, for so much. Then Peter said to her, how is it that you have agreed together to test the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of those who have just buried your husband are at the door, and they will carry you out. Suddenly you're questioned about a gift to help the poor, and you continue to lie and deceive the Holy Spirit. Your husband dropped dead. You're next. Immediately she fell down at his feet and breathed her last. When the young man came in, they found her dead. They carried her out and buried her beside her husband. Fitting, the same judgment came upon Sapphira as came upon Ananias. They shared the same sin and faced the same shock and horror. Ananias and Sapphira both died, but it doesn't necessarily mean that one mistake kept them out of heaven. It is impossible to say for certain, for only God knows. But we can see it is possible for a Christian to sin unto death, 1 John 5, 16 and 17, and to have the New Testament examples of Christians that are brought home after suffering and after maybe sinning. True Christians do not lose their salvation by sinning. The punishment of Ananias and Sapphira, although it's extreme, was for this life only. And that's a quote from Mr. Boyce. Well, we'll move on as we look at verse 11. A great fear came upon the whole church and upon all who heard these things. This is the first time in the book of Acts that the word church is used. It's the word ecclesia, means called out ones, and it stuck. And the congregation, now being known as the church, moved forward through this century.